Hi, this is Lavon, and I'm going to continue my teaching series, God's Plan of Salvation, Written in the Heavens. How many of you know that the very first prophecy by God involves the promise of redemption through a future virgin birth? We can look in Genesis chapter 3, verse 15, where it reads as follows. I will put enmity, that is hostility, between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. He shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. The phrase, the seed of the woman, is an unusual one, in that the term seed in the Bible always refers to the man, who in fact provides the seed necessary for conception. So in this first prophecy, God is already alluding to the unique virgin birth of Christ. Now the term seed here implies that though the child of promise will be born of a mortal woman, he would not have the natural seed of an earthly father. His seed would come from God. And this is no doubt what the Apostle Paul meant when he used the phrase, the mystery of godliness. How God himself was going to become man. In ancient times, each of the 12 major star constellations had 3 star pictures conjoined with them known as decans. And each particular group or set told a particular story as it relates to the coming of the Messiah. I'm going to look at the constellation of Virgo, which was the ensign for the tribe of Zebulon. And the word Virgo is the Latin word which means virgin. And all of the ancient names associated with this star picture, they reveal how the coming deliverer will be born of a virgin. We can look at Isaiah chapter 7 verse 14 where it reads as follows. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. Now the ancient constellation of Virgo was represented by a woman who had in her hand, her right hand, a branch, and her left hand a corn of wheat. And though the woman is seen here, it is her seed that is the great source of this prophecy. The brightest star in Virgo is in the ear of corn, and in Hebrew is known as Samek, and in Arabic, Al-Zamak. Oh, Hash, I hope I did that okay. I'm not Hebrew. Well, anyway, it means the branch. And Jeremiah chapter 33, verses 5 through 6, identifies this as one of the names of the Messiah. And it reads as follows. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch. Now the prophet Zechariah also wrote how that this would be one of the names of the Messiah. And it reads here in Zechariah chapter 3 verse 8 as follows. Behold, I will bring forth my servant, the branch. And also in Zechariah chapter 6 verse 12 it reads as following. Thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, saying, Behold the man, whose name is the branch. The first constellation or decan of Virgo pictured a woman with a child in her arms and is known as Coma. Its ancient name means the desired or longed for. And this sign foretold how the coming one would be a child and the desire of all nations. Haggai chapter 2 verse 7 reads as follows. And I will shake all nations, and the desire of all nations shall come. There was an ancient prophecy, well known and carefully handed down, that a new star would appear in the sign of the Virgin, when he of whom it was foretold was born. In this prophecy, no doubt the prophecy of Balaam in Numbers chapter 24, verse 17, where it says this, "There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter, that is ruler, shall rise out of Israel." Many of the ancients believed that it would be in the constellation of Coma that the star of Bethlehem would first be seen. And the Gospel of Matthew tells us how Magi from the east watched and waited patiently for this particular star. These wise pagan men knew the ancient prophecies, and they recognized that the coming one would be no ordinary child. In Matthew chapter 2, verse 2, it reads, "Where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and are come to worship him." The desire of nations was to be no ordinary child indeed, for he was to be God and man, two natures in one person, human and divine. Which takes us to our next decan in the constellation of the Virgin, and that is the Centaurus. And before I conclude, I just want to encourage you again, as always, to get one of these two books and follow along in this series. And that is The Witness of the Stars by E.W. Bullinger, and The Gospel in the Stars, and that's by Joseph A. Seiss. Well, until next time, His grace and peace.